So this is our garden in May, right at the end of May. We're almost into June and we're just going to have a bit of a walk around to see what's going on. We can start off with the self-seeding Aquilegias, which they're a recurrent theme around the garden, but we have growing here clematis growing up a trellis, and we're going to encourage it to grow along the length of the garage. It's not yet in flower, it's a late blooming clematis. As we move along here, we've got lilies in pots, and we've done some stuff about lilies and pots on other videos before, so you can have a look at what we do about them. And also the eternal pest, the lily beetle. There's some stuff about the lily beetle as well. We move along here, we've got some loosestrife, which is not in flower. We've got a rose in a pot. We've got hellebore that's still flowering. We've got some other stuff coming up in pots, and you've got to remember that almost all of the stuff that we even have in pots, as well as all the stuff in the borders, is all perennial. There's occasional stuff which is not perennials, like say for example we have a cosmos in a pot there, but most of the stuff comes up every year. So if you look around the garden, you can see here these are all perennials, and if you go and look at videos of our garden during January, February, March and even into April, a lot of this stuff will not have even appeared by then. We've got some nice Siberian irises which are now just coming into flower, looking very good there. We've got a honeysuckle on the wall here. We've got some stuff about the honeysuckle on our website as well. It's just beginning to start to flower. You can see the purple flowers almost thinking about opening. We have a heuchera in the ground here, which is indeed already flowering. And as you come around here, we've got the polygonatum, called mini milk in our household because of the shape of the flowers. We've got alliums in pots, which were potted way back in the autumn, but again they will now come up every year. We've got some more lilies, and if we move around this way, we've got some self-seeded Welsh poppies growing in the garden. They just come up everywhere around the garden. Another pot of alliums, lots of pots of hostas that come up every year, and at some point later in this year we'll do some work about hostas, because some of the hostas in these pots are too big for the pot, and we'll do something about that maybe later in the year, perhaps during the winter time when they've died back. So here we are, alliums. We've got a lupin which we grew from seed. We saved the seeds from another lupin, and this is one of the lupin plants we've got from the seed that we then saved. We've got Aquilegias, which is a Japanese grass. We've got Acer shirasawanum fully in leaf now. If you come around here, we've got Solomon's seal, which come up every year and are very popular with the bees. And all along here we've got swathes of different types of geranium theum, which is very popular with the bees. Really good for the pollinators in the garden. We've got some slightly darker purple ones, and tucked away here in the midst of the geranium theums are the centaurea, or mountain cornflowers, and again they are a perennial that comes up every year. You can see the sweep of the polygonatum coming up there, more sort of Aquilegias sticking up. As we come down here, we've got a single Jacob's ladder surrounded by a great froth of forget-me-nots. As we move up the garden, we've got a peony that was saved from another part of the garden, put into a pot. Now, peonies are not meant to be able to be moved very easily, but it did, and it's looking good. Alchemilla mollis just about to come into flower. Self-seeds itself around the garden and comes up every year. Aquilegias, self-seeders. We've got some more alliums, and we've also got some irises which are about to come in flower. These ones not quite yet. Another swathe of geraniums, mountain cornflowers, polygonatum, the ceanothus tree, which is probably full in bloom now. This amazing vivid blue colour. Once that's over, we'll do some work on it to train it back into a better shape, and we've got a video about what we did to it last year, and you can compare what it looked like last year to how it's then working out now. Here's a choisia which is still in flower. That's quite late for a choisia to still be in flower. So as you come around the top part of the garden, you can see we're still waiting on some things to flower. We've still got some Aquilegias, we've still got some polygonatums. We've got over here at the back of the border, we've got some ferns which come up every year. If you look over there to the right of the compost heap, we've got more ferns. And in this very shady area here, shady and quite damp, We've got wild garlic, which is just going over now, just starting to go over. We've got some ragged robin growing there, also popular with the bees. If we come down here, we've got some foxgloves which are getting ready, and this is a very shady area. We've got a tall bamboo in here which we do repeatedly cut back to make sure that it stays in its clump. Another type of geranium here, this is a geranium mycorrhizum, a very pale purple colour. Come round here again in the shady bit, we've got an aconitum which is just starting to come into flower. We have a prune buddleia. We chopped it way back. We could compare it to maybe some of the summer shots of it last year and seeing just how much we took off the buddleia. And as we come all the way around here, down towards the bottom corner, we've got some Astilbes which we're waiting to come into flower because they like this damp, shady area. A hellebore which is still in flower from last year. We've got some pots here of seeds that we sowed of cornflowers which are just starting to come into flower, and also there's some Californian poppies in here as well which are beginning to produce some flower heads too. And finally, right round the back, another big hosta in a pot which is also beginning to put up some of its flowers.
Venus.